Hello, Peter and Srikanth. I hope you can hear me. Just let me know when you want to get started. I'll start sharing my screen.
Hey,
Perfect.
Vidya.
Yeah. Yeah, we can get started in a minute, I guess.
Yeah, I think usually three after is when we kick things off, but should be a fun meeting this week.
Yep.
Hello, good morning.
Hey, morning, Melvin. Morning. Yeah, appreciate everybody's patience as we let everybody get in here.
Let me confirm if Joyce joining from our side.
Okay. I'll get started, Srikanth. And
Certainly.
Okay. Hello, good morning, good evening, who has joined around the world. Just pardon me if you hear some crackers out here. Just to let you know, this is one of Peter's favorite festival out here in India. So if you hear any blast, it's just a normal firecracker. So please bear if there's any sound. I'm trying to be in a soundproof room, but unfortunately not today. So just please bear if there's any firecrackers going off. Okay, so today's partner call, I just wanted to quickly start with an update on the features. So the first and foremost is basically I'm sure a lot of the partners have asked about the M365 assessments. We kind of were planned to do it last week, but we have run into issues where our reports generated were not up to the mark. So that's being worked upon. So hopefully by next week, we should have a release. We apologize for the delay, but we just didn't want to release something which was not up to the mark. So the second is the web application scanning. Again, we have certain reports which have to go through refinement. Again, that's planned next week. The third is the dashboard customization, which is a V3 parity feature which has been requested. We are almost at the fag end of finishing it, but hopefully December 10th is the data given, but I'm fairly confident that we can pull this by this month end. That's the main features which are pending right now with the development team. Regarding the status page, we'll go beta where you folks will have the transparency to see how each pod is functioning, what is the uptime and everything. So already we have shown you that. So we'll go beta very soon on that. Probe patching, one of the most critical features. I think that's gone live into production and we have seen a lot of partners using it. And we are going through any issues which have come up and we will fix it on priority. So just to give you an update on the major features. So the agenda for today, I'll start with the release updates which are already in production. We will then go over the agent fingerprinting deep dive. Basically, I just want to show a small demo about it. And then the release updates which are in QA. Regarding pricing for M365, Srikanth will have an update. And then we'll go over the Q&A. Okay. So, yeah. The first thing is we have implemented the bulk selection to exclude for EDR applications, right? So the global EDR applications contains the list of antivirus applications shown in the security report card. So as many of you know, the application that is already that is not already listed as antivirus under global EDR applications can be added here. And right now, what we have done is given you an option to exclude any application from the global EDR application list in bulk. Before it's just single place, now you can do it in bulk. So that's one significant update which we have done in the user interface. This is in the global settings page. The second thing is, as and when we get these requests to improvise the event sets, and sometimes it might be a parity problem, we have been updating it. The recent one we have added is the certificate expiry in 30 days. The SSL certificate, if they're expired within 13 days, you should be able to generate an event. NIS2. So as NIS2 is an update over EU's the EU original NIS directive. Primarily, it aims to strengthen the cybersecurity resilience. Now, NIS2 has been released to production. This is fairly a significant volume of work which we have done. It has over 50, almost close to 50 security controls across 7 key areas. So this has been released into production. So this is right now available, and and hope you can give us some feedback on this. We have also added a new event subtype. This is again a request from some of our P1 partners, and across the globe, where they wanted to kind of see pending remediations found with medium and low severity and critical severity. So they wanted all this in the templates, and this has been updated right now. So this is in the ticketing template. Yeah, so I'm sure many of you, we brought this feature of unconfirmed, confirmed vulnerabilities, where confirmed is something which is already confirmed in the NVD, and it has to be fixed, right? But unconfirmed was something which was open. So one of the challenges we had with the entire partner base is some partners wanted the view to be shown as default to confirmed, only confirmed vulnerabilities. Some partners wanted both. And some partners wanted to kind of have even the reports split out in such a fashion. So to cater to, kind of the different partner bases, we have given a way where you can set this option and then save it as a table out here. So you will see this option, and you can choose all if you want to show in this page. If you do not want to show it, you can choose whichever you want. So this is available in the problems and vulnerability view. Okay, the release updates under QA, right? So I just want to take some time today to go over the agent fingerprinting. So this slide just gives you a high level of what fingerprinting does, but I'll just give you a high level overview first before going to the demo. So what it does, it works by sending multiple types of probes across the network, collects the detailed information about the devices, operating systems, services, configuration. Now, the system what we have developed uses a combination of protocol-specific scans and version detection techniques to create a comprehensive inventory, which is including the IT assets, the IoT assets, right? What makes it particularly going to be valuable for businesses is able to identify both the traditional IT equipment and the modern connected devices like your iPhone, your cameras, and also provides the insights about the potential security vulnerabilities and misconfigurations, right? So this is a high level what the fingerprinting does. Now, once this agent is released, I just want to, before give an overview as to what will change, right? So assuming our agent release is going to happen very soon, I'm hopeful in the next 48 hours. As partners, you'll have to go, just go to the, have a probe agent running. And in the discovery settings page, you provide the IP or the subnet range of the device, whether it's a Cisco or a iOS device, you can give it there. You can choose to skip the credentials. So this is an unauthenticated scan, right? So you can choose to skip the credentials and then basically then go to the agent's page. You can map the agent to the customized discovery settings, run a scan, and then you'll be able to get the view fingerprint data. So this is the overall process. I'll just take a minute to switch my slides to show you how the flow looks like so that you get a feel of what happens. So this is one of the agents which have been installed. Now, what we'll have to do is, this is a company where we want to kind of run the fingerprint scan. So here I've gone to the discovery settings. I've added a range of devices like Cisco, I have cameras and iOS devices. So I've put everything here. Once this is added here, what you can do is you'll have to go to the actions page. You will have to take this map discovery in. So here you see the discovery settings, which is probably what you have done before. But if you see here, the credentials are not going to be mandatory. Once this is done, you just save it, and then scan is going to get run. So you will see it under, you can do a full scan or a network scan. The jobs are going to get completed. Once that is done, once you come back here, today, if you see, this is the old agent, the agent which is all running on your systems. What is the information? You pretty much get the IP address, you get a certain set of information about the cores, the RAM, the platform, right? Now, and here there's nothing, right? This is because this is on the old agent version. Once the fingerprint scan runs, you will see a significant amount of details populating in this tab. So for example, this is one of the machines where all the fingerprint scan has run. And you can see a host of details which have been popped up. So I'll just go for an example what this means to you, right? So here, for example, let me take the ARP. So the address resolution protocol information is out here. So we have the MAC address, we have the MAC vendor, which is ASUS Tech. Then you have the date which was added. You have the operating system fingerprint. Here it says CPE, which is the common platform enumeration. Then you also have something called the RZTTL. This means it's going to use it's using the TTL based OS detection. And then the OS is Linux. So overall, as a summary, I would say it's a Linux operating system. It uses the network hardware NIC manufactured by ASUS. And then it was detected on November 30th. Second, for example, the second example I'm giving you just to make sure I'm a little more clear because of this complicated process. So for example, what does this banner mean, right? Now you have this IP address out here. It says SSH Open SSH Protocol 8.4P1. What does that mean? It indicates it's running a version 8.4P1. What is the Debian package use? It's using the Debian 11, that is the Bullseye package. What is U3? U3 is nothing but it's the third update to the package. And then you have also you have SSH ED 25519. So this means, what does it mean? As a security analysis, it's a much more modern and secure type of SSH. ED 25519 is much more modern and secure. The OpenSSH version appears to be maintained from Debian distribution. The presence of the package indicates it's being maintained regularly. So you are able to get this level of details here. And then, for example, just randomly, I'm taking, MDNS, right? So MDNS is typically is about identifying the characteristics about the device, like operating system type, version, device manufacturer, device model. So you are going to get a bunch of details once this scan is run. And this is one of the devices I've done. Then you also see here for a Windows machine. If you see here, right, in the old ones, you don't get much information about the platform and stuff like that. But if you go here, even in the system, right now, you'll start getting information about the platform, architecture, OS version, build, and the fingerprint details is going to be much, much more in detail, right? So this is the level of details which are going into the fingerprint scan. Then you also have the other assets where you again get all, before we were able to get it only through the IP address. Now with the MAC address, we'll be able to get the details as well. So this is the other, this is another assets page. This is another feature which will be coming up, right? So yeah, and I think this is going to be a significant change and also a lot of details which are going to come. And I'm happy to take any questions towards the end of this call. Yeah, and coming back, right, I just want to go back as to what this whole, once this is done, what is the value proposition, right? Last week when I was with Ryan at IT Nation, he was specifically saying, like, finally, what is the value proposition we are going to give to our partners and their clients, right? You're definitely going to see a POC acceleration. So it's going to be a great pre-sales tool because you're going to go through unauthenticated scans, which is going to be much easier, right? You're going to generate quickly a comprehensive set of asset reports, and this will be very useful in the initial client meetings. You're going to see immediate insights about the environment and things like which, the modern assets or the IT assets which are not ideally kind of detected are going to be detected here. So you're going to create this compelling before and after visualization of their security gaps. And then, of course, as I said, you're going to find out their pain points. You're going to discover their unknown assets and more of actionable insights during the evaluation phase. So this is what the thought process around the value proposition. I'm sure our partners have much more greater ideas, and we are happy to hear that out. So this is just an example on, I just put a screenshot for completeness. This is what I showed you on the user interface, which you'll see once the latest agent is going to get installed on your machines. So yeah, and Windows and MacBooks are going to get a lot of details around. The next update, which we are shortly going to do, is, of course, the user onboarding wizard. So today, I'm sure in V3 we did have a very good onboarding wizard, but based on the feedback from support and people in our my colleagues who do onboarding, they did give feedback that we need to have a better onboarding pattern. So this is something which we are changing shortly, and this will be a 10-step process. And once this 10-step process is done, you're going to get started right away. So again, a lot of the things is around, kind of giving value to your clients and basically seeing the results faster with the easy setup. So that's how the whole screen is going to look like, just to give you a preview of what's going to come up. Yeah. So we are going to add one more compliance, which is the NIST 800, which will come very soon. This is another thing which is under the QA environment. We have added something called the OS filter under the remediation plan. You can choose what kind of OS, or you can choose all the OS which you want to see in that remediation plan page. Right. I just want to hand off right now to Srikanth on the pricing updates so that he can talk through that. Srikanth, if you're speaking, you're on mute. Hello. Peter, are you able to hear me?
Yeah. I can hear you. Just pinged them separately. Yeah, so but yeah, I mean, if y'all have any questions regarding the materials Vidya went over, feel free to put it in the chat. I know Kevin asked if fingerprinting update is live. That was one question we had in there. Do you have any like specifics for when we'll have that available?
So we are targeting this weekend, Peter. So hopefully we should be on target. So yeah, it's probably just, I would say 48 to 72 hours is what I would give as a timeline.
Beautiful. Awesome. Okay. Shree's computer is going through a reboot. So he'll be on in a few minutes here. Just had to do a reboot, probably from applying some patches.
Ryan, were there any other questions which were pending in the list?
No, I didn't actually see much of the questions coming in. So if there are any, definitely happy to answer them. But no, we've had some light chatter, surprisingly.
Looks like Steve Tom's got some questions about unrelated to today's update. The scans are blowing up my FortiGate with IPS alerts, overloading my SIM. Can anybody point me to guidance on how to suppress it in my firewall configuration? Sounds like probably open up that with support.
Yeah, well, Pete, I think Steve's alluding that it's probably more on the firewall side that he needs to make some adjustments that the scans are triggering. But Steve, if you definitely want to open up a support case, I think what would help is we have the dependencies that the agents run. So some of the PowerShells and some of the scripts and executables that are going to be running in the environment. there must be a spot where you can, say, hey, I know these are going to run, and therefore don't flag them. So I suspect it's some there. But if there is a partner here that is a FortiGate expert that wants to share info, please feel free. Yeah, so Enrique, I think once Shrikant gets on the call to go over the pricing for the M365 assessment, we'll kind of go over the feature set again. So should be able to talk to what that module and what the reporting and what the goal is. As Vidya mentioned, we've been talking with partners about this in the space as far as what's really needed. What do we need to see in these assessments from M365 that'll really enable the partners to take those forward with some actionable items on them and some meaningful data that they can use right within the service environment. So that's kind of the goal there.
So my apologies, everyone. At a wrong time, my laptop decided to update itself or something happened. So sorry about that. Just give me a quick second, like I share my screen. Yeah, so I think Vidya, you to give me the presenter access for me to share my screen because I have a slide to quickly run past one here.
Yeah, I gave it. Hope you're.
Okay, give me a second. I had a nice slide, but for some reason, Microsoft PowerPoint continues to tell me that it'll start only after it updates itself or whatever. So, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to show the slide, but I'll still show you the pricing via an email that I have. Sorry about that. Okay, so I just started sharing my screen. Can you see that?
Yes, Shrikant, we can see.
Okay, so you may probably see a Microsoft Auto Updater, but ignore that for now, sorry. So yeah, so real quick, everyone, sorry about the technical glitch, but quickly what we wanted to do was we wanted to run you past the draft thought process that we have. This is not like a final version, but 9-10% we think this is the right way to go, but certainly we'd love to hear your feedback also on this. We wanted to keep the tiers consistent. So there's no change in the tiers. So you've all been purchasing Connect Secure based on the number of assets that you have, be it the 1 to 1,500, the 1,501 to 2,500 assets, and so on. So that pricing that you see here, the standard edition, is a price that many of you are paying today, depending on which tier you are at. The premium edition, the new edition that we plan to release soon, which is the Microsoft 365 feature is an integral part of the premium version for now, is right here. So you see that the new price is the $450 for the premium edition, as for an example, for the first tier. The main difference is that we are going to count the number of mailboxes and the number of assets that you have. And the sum total of both of them will apply towards your tier count. So for example, you could have maybe 800 physical assets that you're managing and maybe like 300 or 400 mailboxes, and you'd still be in the 1,500 asset tier, the first tier as an example. So the sum total of your assets that you have today, which you're managing in network assets, be it routers, switches, firewalls, access points, desktops, laptops, printers, and so on, those assets and Microsoft 365 mailboxes will be combined into a total number of assets stroke mailboxes that you manage. And that is basically the price that you see here. Now, we also introduced Microsoft 365 standalone. This is just in case there are situations where people believe that they're kind of good with what they have, and they just want to say take Microsoft 365 standalone for specific clients or specific situations. So for those kind of situations, we have the standalone pricing as well. But the price is going to be amongst the lowest in the industry. We did a lot of benchmarking around it based on what we know, and we could be wrong, and certainly more than happy to hear from you. Based on whatever research that we did from existing people who do Microsoft 365 assessments, things for checks for misconfigurations and things like that, we found most people to be in the at least $1 per mailbox kind of a pricing, give or take. Some people are a little more, some people are a little less, but pretty much in the reference range of about $1 a month per mailbox. If you notice in our case, it's extremely low. We are operating at about literally 20 cents thereabout per mailbox. That's the kind of pricing that you'll see, because if you look at the tier pricing that we have, and this is what we are planning. Love to hear your feedback on this. Any comments, any suggestions?
Good morning. I put some comments there on the chat.
Okay. So I have a couple of questions here that I'm going to quickly start getting into. So the first one is Matt does not favor the bundle for the premium. 450 for 1,500 assets versus 299 plus 200. That is 499. So the standalone, like I said, is for people who don't have the Connect Secure standard version at all. So that's typically in situations where people say, we are not, we have some other tool that we're using perhaps, or certain situations they want only the Microsoft 365 module. It's only for those situations where that the standalone version would really be applicable.
Is there a possibility of continuing with the upgraded price, but allowing us to have 1,500 of each asset? We're already upgrading the price. I imagine that upgrade is to cover the new service.
If you were to take the standalone, then yes, what you say is true. So in that case,
for the premium.
For the premium, it's a combination for that tier. So it's a combination of the assets. Just thought it'd be the simplest way to keep it, because introducing too many variables, it just confuses the sales process. So we thought just keep the tier consistent, 1 to 1,500, 1,500 and 1 to the next tier, and so on. And it's a combination of whatever you're using at that tier. Could be mailboxes, could be regular IT assets. So that was the thought process. So keep it, like I said, the go-to-market simple.
And are you counting licensed users or all mailboxes?
Only the mailbox that you include in this.
Like we could have 1,000 mailboxes, shared mailboxes, 365 mail-enabled groups, but we actually only have 800 licensed users. Are you going to charge us for 1,000 or for the 800?
For the 800.
Okay, thank you.
The next question is, Johnson, the assets will be equal to assets plus mailboxes. That's correct. And hopefully in the premium version, in a couple of months down the line, we also hope to introduce Google Workspace. So all that will be part of the premium edition. So you could use a combination of Microsoft 365 for some customers, Google for some other customers, and your regular asset scan for vulnerability management. So that's something that is also planned for down the line. So hopefully by I'm looking at January, February, we should be able to get the Google Workspace feature also out here. So it would certainly, the next question would, it would replace tools like SaaS alerts. That is, we would have similar capability. Yeah. So the decision to replace would be yours, but yeah, we would be certainly doing stuff that SaaS alerts does today for Microsoft 365. And like I said, down the line for Google Workspace as well. The next question, Nick, what is Microsoft 365? The feature that we are adding is for you to do a quick assessment of a Microsoft 365 tenant of your customers. So it would quickly check for things like misconfigurations. It does more than 60, 70 checks. The exact number I can let you know, but around 60 to 70 different checks on all the different, so things like I said, misconfigurations, or do users have multi-factor authentication enabled? So all those kind of things would check and give you a report. So that's basically the Microsoft 365 assessment feature that we have. Certainly possible. The next question on the trial, happy to, we will get the beta out very soon. Like Vidya said, there was some problem with the reports. So once we nail that down, we will have, once the report is fixed, we will certainly have, that as well, that we will, be in a position to, release that for beta for all of you. I think, Matt, Chris, there will be a document that will be, we will spell out clearly on our pricing page, the difference between the standard and the premium. Matt, I'm not entirely sure what you mean if it's a little pricey, and more than happy to, that's the whole purpose that we have this, partner community call that we run every, try to run most weeks at least, is, to hear your feedback. Now, based on what research that we did, and we certainly checked the market for pricing from other popular vendors out there, and this is what we thought was way more compelling in terms of pricing, at least 40-50% lower than many others that I saw. But I'm happy to stand corrected. If you want, I will send you my personal email on this, and just send me an email, and I'm, like I said, we'll relook the pricing based on your feedback. And yeah, Doug, that's a good point. As in, once you see the beta, once you see the value that it can unlock potentially when you do the assessment for your clients, hopefully that should be the the value that you derive from it. Yeah, argument is like $1 per one mailbox. Yeah.
So quick question, might be simpler to put in voice. Let me know when I can.
Yeah, please go ahead. I'm sorry, what is that?
So going on the 365, one thing is monitoring and detecting. I guess we're going to have a base plan where we say this is the configuration we expect each tenant to have, and that's how you'll compare if it's misconfigured. If there's a detection, are you all going to be able to have a simple click to remediate actions inside the Entra portal, or is just telling us, and then we have to manually go do it? That's one question. The second, will you be also reading conditional access policies, allowing us to do templates to apply to tenants? What does that process look like?
So just to speak to that, Enrique, I think what we are first doing is getting the reports out. To the two questions you asked, we haven't really deep dived on that, but definitely I think this is feedback. We'll take it up and probably kind of build it in the software. It's just that the initial version, we are running through some multiple issues with the reports. So I'll work with the development to see to what best we can do.
Okay, yeah, because comparing to SaaS alerts, we have, you could say 4 different modules within it. The basic function is reading logs from Microsoft Azure and interpreting them. The second function would be respond, where you create rules to automatically respond to certain alert events by blocking users, dropping tokens, and changing password. Then you have the Unify module, which reads information from the RMM to correlate with logs from Microsoft and make smarter decisions of the users on the computer. And the fourth one is Fortify, which allows you to basically see secure score, apply policies and different procedures from within SaaS alerts.
Okay, thank you. I'll take this feedback.
Yeah. So what we do is, perhaps the next call, we will try to do a more deeper dive on the Microsoft 365 piece and start again with the demo so that everybody understands where we are in terms of capability. Also, we'll, some of your feedback on pricing is taken, like, for example, keep a separate tier for assets, a separate tier for mailboxes, stuff like that. So we'll do some rework at some of these points at our level and circle back in the next call with that. So I think a lot of the questions that I know I've seen Mark think that the same value per assets and mailboxes for the cost. And so what we'll do is we'll try to demystify this with a slightly more detailed deck. And hopefully my laptop will also allow me to present, unlike today, which Microsoft suddenly decided not to suddenly update at the wrong time. Yeah, we will have certainly more details on that. Okay, and then the last point that I wanted to quickly check before I hand over back to Vidya is one of the features that we are also hoping to release in the same time frame as part of the premium version is going to be a documentation product. So today, what happens is that we discover, and thanks to the new fingerprinting that you just saw from Vidya today in the demo, we are able to identify much more in-depth information about an asset. Now, what was missing, which probably some of you were forced to use additional products for achieving network documentation, we hope to have that feature built into the product itself. So when you click on an asset today, thanks, like I said, to the new fingerprinting, we do see a lot of information that is there. But what we are also going to allow you to do is to have additional fields that you can populate for things like, who does this asset belong to? And keep historical information. So today I may be owning this laptop, but tomorrow somebody else may be owning this laptop, as an example. So capture its MAC address, IP address, all those details, its configuration. We are also going to, what is the cost center? Where is this asset actually located, in which building, and a map interface? A whole lot of details, including the ability to upload documents around it for things like, what is the purchase order against it, or what is the warranty information around it? Where was the partner or distributor that you purchased this from? So for a lot of details about that particular asset can now be captured and saved. And I think that will be extremely valuable for many of you who, in addition to using products like Connect Secure, are using other third-party documentation, network documentation tools. Now a significant part of that feature, or at least the key parts of that will now be part of the product itself, and also be part of the premium edition. So all of this is what we are, hopefully in a following call, either next week or the week after, I'll try to see that if some early screens of that, if we can share with all of you also. So that's something that, again, I wanted to quickly, as a quick update, I want to share. I unfortunately don't have any slides around that to share, but the idea is to, like I said, have complete asset documentation. And a network asset documentation, and that's a feature that we hope to release very soon. Any questions? Happy to take that up, or otherwise over back to Vidya.
Srikanth,
Yeah, Daniel,
and a few of them had questions. I'm not sure if you addressed that around the standard package.
I thought I did go through most of it. I think the short, we have to come back to our partner community with a detailed document which spells out clearly what is in the premium version as opposed to what's in the standard edition. And also a Microsoft 365 assessment feature demo, so that they, for example, there's a lot of confusion as to what a SaaS alerts does. SaaS alerts, obviously, it's a good product, been there for many years, and they do probably other things also. Whereas in our case, we are at this point more of an audit tool. So it's something that helps you audit your Microsoft 365 tenants and to typically look for things like misconfigurations. So we are at that level today. But obviously, these are features that we'll continue to build on, develop on, and make it more and more valuable to the partners. But I think on the next call, we owe it to everyone to get a more detailed difference between the standard and the premium edition at this point.
Yep.
I think there's a lot of questions around that. And obviously, we'll also have the, we're also going to share some early screens of our network asset documentation product.
Yeah,
I think I did kind of cover everything on the slide deck today. I'm sure the fingerprint is probably the most asked technical question today, and the pricing is the most asked business question today. So I think we have covered what we wanted. And thanks everyone and whoever came over to IT Nation and the DattoCon. It was great meeting you. Many of my colleagues met you. You gave very candid feedback. Really appreciate it. And those who are not there, as usual, please send us a ticket. We're happy to address your concerns always. Thank you very much.
All right. So thanks, everyone. Have a great rest of the day and week, and we'll hopefully be in touch back with more details on the Microsoft 365, including the pricing. Thank you.
Quick question, guys. Sorry. For the
Yeah, sure,
new
Enrique.
or for the fingerprint agent, in the next 48, 72, 1 week, whatever, whenever it's out, do we have to do anything, or is that going to auto update?
That's going to auto update. That's going to auto update.
Awesome.
But yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, but you definitely need to go to the discovery page and add the add the settings and stuff like that, what I showed you on the screen. So we'll document it well. Ryan does a great job of documentation. We'll send it out. So agent will get updated within the 48 to 72 hours once it's released.
Thank you.
Yeah, and it has to be online. That's the main caveat. The agents have to be online. Okay. Yeah. Enrique, can hopefully we can close the call if you didn't have any more questions.
Oh, yes. Thank you very much. Sorry about that. Have a great day.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.